All right, here we go. Hey. All right. Why don't we call this M7 lesson 7-1. We're going to call this Introduction to Geometry. Geometry is really not scary. It's just the study of shapes and their interactions with one another. There are a lot of basic shapes that really are important, and so we're going to introduce some of those today. Especially this year in 7th grade, we're going to spend a lot of time talking about like points and lines and things called planes and things like that. So the first thing I want you to understand is that we're going to be working in three-dimensional space some of the times. So sometimes we're going to be working in two-dimensional space, and sometimes we're going to be working in three-dimensional space. So the first thing we have to do today is we have to understand the difference between 2D and 3D. So this might be a little challenging for you, not sure of your drawing skills, but today I'm going to show you kind of how you can draw, okay, in 3 dimensions, okay? So let's go ahead and start with this. I'm going to start by drawing a cube. Okay, and if you know how to draw a cube kind of in the center of your paper. We're going to label some things on it. Yeah, you could draw it really big. That's fine.
How big do you want it? Like 5 by 5?
Okay, so there's part of a cube. The rest of this I'm going to freehand. Okay, so you start by drawing a square. That I'm pretty sure and confident that you can do. Once you have a square, I want you to draw another square kind of offset like that. So right now it kind of just likes 2 squares that are overlapping. That's kind of what it looks like right now. All right. Next, what we're going to do, how many of you have got 1 square?
I got 2.
Okay, if you have 2, that's great.
Wait, you're making it 3-dimensional.
Right. The next thing you do is you connect the corners. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line there. I want to make it a little bit more straight than that if I can. Man, it's really hard without that. Okay, so I can draw a line there. Yeah, very good. We're going to draw a line here. All right, hang on 1 second so I can bring it back up on the screen. Hey guys, when I'm having technical difficulties, which I am currently, please don't use it as free rein to kind of like diverge from what we're doing, okay? All right, so here we go. I drew that line. I'm going to draw another line here, like so, and I need to trim it up a little bit. And then I'm going to draw a line up at the top left, right there. And that's kind of how you make a cube.
One line's not connected.
It's not well connected.
How big should this be?
Well, it's going to be pretty big. Okay, you don't want to make it too small. All right. Now, sometimes it helps when we're drawing cubes if we can shade parts of them. So I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of things here. When you have lines that would be visible with your eyes, those lines would be solid. But sometimes in a real, like if you're looking at a diagram, if you see dotted lines, those are lines that you can't actually see, but you know are there. So This line here is not a line I can actually see, but it's a line that's really there. This is not a line that I can actually see, but it's a line that's really there because it would be on the back side of the cube. And this line here is not a line I could really see, but it's definitely a line that would be there because it's on the back side of the cube. So, no, you don't necessarily have to do that. If you did, that's fine. If you did, that's fine. Now, I'm going to shade this in a little bit. You don't have to do this. I'm doing it for a point of emphasis. You can if you have the ability to. Wow, that did not work as well as I would have hoped. Okay. Okay. We'll just do the best we can right there. All right. That there is the what? Front, back, top, or side of the cube?
Side. Front.
Yeah, you can tell it's the front, okay? So we have the front of our cube, like so. What if I were to shade the side of the cube, so like over here, how do I know this is the side? How do I know that? Noah?
Because it's 3D.
It looks three-dimensional, so you can kind of just tell the way it looks. I'm going to shade the top. Okay, I'm going to use green for the top.
Yay!
Okay, so there's green on the top. All right, so I have the side, and I have the top. Okay, like so. Now, what can I not, if this was a real three-dimensional figure and it was not see-through, what can I not see? Which pieces of it? Izzy?
The other side and the back.
Okay, so I cannot see the left side. I cannot see the back. What else can I not see? The bottom. Notice that all the lines that I could see are solid. See how the dotted lines are all behind the shading? Those are the ones we cannot see. That's why they're dotted. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, when you have a flat surface like that in 3 dimensions, these surfaces are called planes. So what I want you to do is I want you to draw an arrow to the different spots, and I want you to call them planes. Okay, the shaded areas. The shaded areas are called planes. Or this is the blue, there's a blue plane, there's a purple plane, there's a green plane. You know what? That would be a really good thing to add, Millie. I'm going to add it just because I think it's really good. Okay? All the flat surfaces
All flat? What do you mean by all flat?
are planes. Okay, hey. All right. So all the flat surfaces are planes. Now, can I put things on the planes? Could I? How many of you have ever had little blocks that had letters on them? Okay, you had letters on them, right? So let's say for a moment, like look at the top of our cube there. I wrote the letters T-O-P on that plane. So the word top is actually on the plane. It's on the surface of the plane. Now, top is really just two lines that make the letter T, a circle, partially a circle for the letter P, and a line on that letter P. So what we're getting at today, where we're going with this, is that we can draw shapes, lines, points on surfaces. That's where we're going with this today. Okay? Any questions about our three-dimensional figure here before I move on? Okay. All right. If you have that, that's great. Let's move on to a new drawing. A new drawing. This drawing is going to be interesting. Okay. What I want you to do for this drawing is I want you to go ahead and draw a horizontal line. And I want you to draw another horizontal line offset, like that. You want them to be roughly the same length. And I'm going to try to connect the two like that. Yeah, it's kind of like a weird looking diamond. I have the ability to copy my images, but I want you to draw something that looks like that. Can you kind of start to see, pause, can you kind of start to see where the 3D is coming in? What is it kind of looking like? Yeah. It's starting, all right, so I definitely have some rectangles there. What if you had to show me this in real life, something that kind of looked like this, what could you show me? Yeah.
Like 2 pieces of paper.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking, right? It's like having 2 pieces of paper separated above each other, right? So I had a piece of paper maybe like right here at my, like where I have my hand here. Take a look. Kind of a piece of paper like right here. Then I have a piece of paper right here, okay? And they're separated by gap.
Wait, how did you draw it on?
I just drew lines.
Wait, that's why.
You just copied the image. You said it.
Okay, that's how I draw it.
Do your best.
Wait, you just put 2
Yeah.
Wait, how would you?
So you just.
Wow, you're good.
Yep, I'll do it. Watch carefully. Pause, put down your pencils. Look up at the screen. Okay? Here we go. Watch carefully. Okay, there's one rectangle. Shoot out a line there. Shoot a line over, up, and over. That's it. That's I freehanded that. It's real simple. You don't have to be super exact. It's a diagonal rectangle and then a partial diagonal rectangle below it.
So it's a piece of paper. Right?
Those are like having a piece of paper on top and a piece of paper on the bottom. Guys, sit down, please.
Mine doesn't look like yours.
No, you gotta go. You gotta practice this.
I did it for Parker.
Yeah, well, I was hoping he would try it on his own.
I did try.
Guys,
I did try.
sit down, please. Thanks. All right. I'm going to shade these different. If you are going to shade these with a pencil or something, please do it very lightly because we're going to actually draw some things on them. If you have a highlighter, that'd be fine, yeah. I'm going to shade them differently. Okay. Sometimes we can put lines on planes. So I'm going to name these. The yellow plane is called plane Y. Okay? Plane Y. And the green plane is going to be called, yep, plane G. Don't put it on them. Don't put it on them. All right, before you do anything else with your pens or pencils, okay? Before you do anything else with your pen or pencil, take a look at what I'm about to draw, okay? Because I have to modify it a little bit. I'm going to draw a straight line. This is rather difficult. I'm going to draw a straight line up like that. And then I'm going to draw, this is where it gets kind of tricky. I'm going to draw some dotted lines. No, hang on. Like I said, this is tough. Okay. Shh. Hey, guys. Ah, okay. Shh. Can you tell me what's, and I'm going to put a little indentation here. And I'm going to put a little indentation. Okay, that's exactly kind of like what it is, right? It's like a toothpick going through a sandwich. The line is going through the top. How do we know? What did I do differently to make it look like it was going through it? Yeah.
Like made a straight line and some dotted lines.
Okay, so I use solid and dotted lines. Solid and dotted lines. Okay, very good. Now, this is a line that's going through two planes, kind of like a toothpick going into a sandwich. That's very good. That was a very good analogy. But what about this line here and this line here? Where are those lines? Are they on yellow, on green? Anna? Those two lines are on top of yellow. How do I know? What about the solid dotted tells me that they're on yellow? Yeah.
It's solid all the way through, and dotted, it shows you that it's going through.
Right. So those two lines have to be on yellow because they're solid. So they're not under yellow. If they were under yellow, they'd be dotted. Very good. Okay. What about that little figure I just drew? Where's that one at? Parker?
It's in the corner.
But on which plane? Plane G or plane Y?
Plane G.
It's on plane G because it's solid on the green plane.
Well, 'cause
Okay?
if it was on plane Y, it would be plane Y. Yes. That makes
Okay, like so. Now, I'm going to draw another one here. Okay, and it's starting to get a little complicated because there's lots of lines here. But I'm going to draw a line. Okay, that one I just drew, I'm going to highlight here for you. No, that's a big highlighter. It's not what I was going for. Let me go ahead and draw it in red. I think that'll be easier. Where is this one located?
On the corner of the green one.
Okay, but it's dotted on the green. Okay, Leland?
It's on the yellow, but it went through the green.
Now, if it went through the green, it would go solid above the green. So
it is just on yellow.
it's just on yellow, but I can see through the green that there's a dotted portion of that line that goes behind green. So dotted lines help give us depth. Okay, so we actually have some different images there. And if I wanted to, I could make that dotted even further. Okay, but I'm not going to because then I have to erase it and whatnot. Can you see the 3D effect here? Can you see it? Okay, that's good. All right, there are several different types of lines that we need to focus on. I'm going to draw them here for you. I showed you what planes are. Planes are flat surfaces. But there are also different types of lines, okay? So let's go ahead and look at these lines. We have lines that look like this. Does anyone know what lines that look like this are called? Savannah? They are intersecting. They intersect right here, okay? Okay, what kinds of lines meet each other like this?
Oh, intersecting lines.
What if I did that? Okay, first of all, Noah just said there's a right angle here. He's right.
Two of them. There's two.
I know.
You're right, Noah. There's another right angle here.
That was Jacob.
Oh, wow. Nice, okay. Okay, but what kinds of lines are these, yeah?
Is it a right intersecting line?
No. Parallel percentage.
They're not parallel.
They are definitely not.
Sad.
Perpendicular. Perpendicular lines are lines that meet and form right angles. They don't always look like this. Okay, perpendicular lines can also look like this, where you have just one and another one.
Did you say when they meet,
They meet, they form right angles. That's a perpendicular. Those are two perpendicular, what they're called rays.
Oh, so right angle is perpendicular.
Right angles are formed when two lines are perpendicular. They're not one and the same, though. One's an angle, one deals with lines. These are also perpendicular because they form a right angle. There's also squares, or rectangles or so. How many right angles does a square rectangle have, Mackenzie? 4. Which means that there are 4 sets of perpendicular lines. Okay? They're perpendicular here, 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 and here. There's also, this is one of my favorites,
It's a hashtag.
it is kind of like a hashtag. This is L, this is M, this is N, and this is P. All right. We have lines M, L, N, and P. Okay? N is this line. All right? P is this line. L is this line. And M is this line. Okay. Can you give me 2 lines that are perpendicular to each other in this diagram? 2 lines that are perpendicular to each other. Caitlin? Okay, M, so this one, and N. Yeah, those are perpendicular. Look at where the shading overlaps. Where the shading overlaps is a perpendicular spot. Very good. Now, we did introduce this idea called parallel. What does parallel mean? Well, I don't know what that means. Lexi? Yes, here she's doing this. It's all good. Score! Touchdown! Yes, uprights.
Jackson's the best person in the world.
Stop. Do the lines ever meet when they're parallel? No. So, Izzy. 5, 4, 3. Izzy, can you give me an example of two lines that are parallel? M and L. So this one and this one. Will they ever meet? No. So yes, those are parallel lines. So we're going to label this one parallel lines. Okay? Parallel lines. So we have perpendicular and parallel lines. All right. Last but not least, okay, I believe so. Let me take a look here real quick. Wow, there's lots. No, stop. There's a difference between certain different types of lines. We're going to see them. We see them here, especially. Does anyone know what this thing right here is called? Yeah, Anna? It's a point. Okay, it's a point. So anywhere you have a little dot, it's called a point. Now, notice that this right here has arrows on both ends. Okay, that's a what? Willon? It means it's a straight line and goes on forever. Very good. However, Jackson, does this right here have arrows on both ends? No, it only has an arrow on what? One end. Okay, oops. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Give it a minute. Okay, let me just draw, let me draw this brand new. If I have something that looks like this, that has a point on one end and an arrow on the other, does anyone know what we call that? Yes, Savannah, nice job. This is called a ray. Okay, it's called a ray. So we have lines which have arrows on both ends. We have points. We have lines that crisscross each other. And we've said this a couple times already today. What do we call those? Yeah, they're intersecting lines. Yes, be careful. Intersecting lines, ray, points. And the hardest one is this one. I'll go back, hang on. The hardest one is this one. If you have a plane and another plane, like so, and on one plane I have a line going in this direction, and in the other plane I have a line going this direction, are they parallel?
No.
Do they intersect?
Yes.
They do not. They're in different planes. They're in different planes. So, for instance, let me show you how I would draw this, because this is actually can be drawn really easily. Hang on. Okay. 2 pieces of paper. If I were to draw a line on this one, I drew a line on the plane, so like that up there, I have a line on a plane. And on this one, I draw the line so that it's going in a different direction. So I have a line on both planes, like this. And when I put them over top of each other, like so, do they intersect?
No.
Okay? Are they parallel then? They're not parallel because they're going in different directions. They'll never meet. But they're not going in the same direction. So parallel lines have to go in the same direction. These are not parallel. So lines that never meet, that are not parallel, that do not intersect, are called skew lines. So these two lines, because they never meet, they're not parallel, they're not perpendicular, these are called skew lines. Okay, skew lines. Any questions about these types of lines?
No, sir.
Your homework is going to have you identify these different types of lines, points, rays, and things like that. Okay? Here is what I need. Your homework.
One through 8, what is 10 through 28 units? 28?
Yes.
Yeah! 1 through 8, 10 through 28.
Write that down real quick because I'm going to give you a helpful guide for your homework. I want to have you write this down in your notes. It's a little bit of symbology. Yep. Symbology. I'll come back to this. Here are the symbols that I think you should put in your notes. Okay, I'm going to put a big box around them because they're important. You'll see.
Tell me when you're done first.
These are the different labels they use for the different types of things. This should also be included.
Really?
That's be in our notes.
Right in front of me too.
Right on. Jacob, move. Jacob, move.
Just look at his iPad.
You can't read that. Well, you're
Oh my
reading.
God.
Come on, write faster.
Why does he keep doing that?
Whoa.
Taking
Whoa.
forever.
Come on, Miss Warm. You done yet?
Did he just delete it?
Are you done?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yes.
Katie, you get up there.
So point A would be point A, AB, line AB. AB without arrows is line segment. AB with an arrow is ray AB. The little plane symbol with an A is plane A. L with two parallel lines to M is L is parallel to M. L perpendicular to M is L is perpendicular to M.
Can we watch the Maze Runner for a movie?
Nope. Okay. That is the end of this recording.
Wait,